ABC announced that they are indefinitely suspending its late-night TV show, Jimmy Kimmel Live, over a joke the host made concerning the murder of Charlie Kirk. On his show on Monday, September 15th, Kimmel seemed to suggest that Charlie Kirk's murder was actually a Donald Trump MAGA supporter.
Hit some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from it.
2 days later, ABC announced the suspension after threats by the Nexstar and Sinclair media groups to preempt the show indefinitely. Good for them. Several thoughts come to mind. Let's look at Stephen Colbert's show. It was recently announced that The Late Show was not being renewed for another season. CBS wasn't going to replace the show. The show, which began its run in 1993 with David Letterman, it's being canceled. At the time, CBS was being acquired by Skydance Media. In order for the transaction to go through, the Federal Communications Commission had to approve the merger of Skydance with Paramount Global. Noteworthy were the reports that Colbert's show was reportedly losing $40 million a year, and everybody knew that Colbert hates Donald Trump, anything to do with Donald Trump, and will support any point of view that points out that Donald Trump is evil and should be in prison. By the way, I was struck at the sale price of the network, only $8 billion. I thought giant corporations were worth more than that. I'm pretty sure that the ashtray division of Tesla Motors is worth more than $8 billion. Anyway, why was The Late Show with Stephen Colbert canceled? Among the liberal media, the suggestion was that clearly it was because of pressure from the FCC and Donald Trump. Some reluctantly conceded that pressure may have also come from Skydance. You think? A show that loses $40 million a year, alienates half the country, and is regularly beaten by a Fox cable show with a fraction of the budget? No, clearly this is all Donald Trump's doing. CBS could make a lot more money with a nightly show about the sex lives of bonobo monkeys. Actually, I might watch that show. It could even give Gutfeld a run for his money. In any case, one of them would definitely be getting TiVo'd. Then there was the news about Howard Stern. Come on, man! Look, Stern just isn't worth $100 million a year anymore. I don't even blame him for giving up his shtick. At his age, it has to get boring to keep asking questions like, "Oh, what color is your ID? Did you shave down there to come on the show? Can I see your tits?" Howard Stern wasn't on anyone's radar except Sirius XM's. Hey, speaking of radar, I could be on yours. Just like this video and hit the subscribe button to get all the great content from Pablo and Molinero. We do thank you for watching. So, now to Kimmel. I was watching Benny Johnson's show, which I like, and his guest was Brendan Carr, the head of the FCC. Carr made a pretty overt threat to ABC. It sounded to me like he was saying he might try to punish ABC if they didn't put a muzzle on Jimmy Kimmel. I wish he hadn't done that. First of all, the free market would have taken care of it. The Nexstar and Sinclair media groups own about a third of the ABC affiliates around the country. The decision to pull Kimmel was probably made on that fact alone. Secondly, it gives unnecessary ammunition to those who say that Trump is censoring free speech. And finally, the public that doesn't pay attention to anything, which is often the voting bloc that determines presidential elections, will notice when they can no longer watch Dancing with the Stars and Celebrity Wheel of Fortune. It won't help the cause if they can blame it on Donald Trump. Anyway, I don't know how any of this works. None of the networks actually have licenses as such. Only local affiliates get them. Would the FCC drop the hammer on ABC's 220 or so local affiliate stations? I say we wait and see how CBS does. Bill O'Reilly was on with Major Garrett to promote his book, Confronting Evil. O'Reilly says that this is his first time in 10 years that he has been invited on network TV. He believes it's a signal that CBS is going to reform its political stance in order to be more inclusive. I mean, it should be obvious that alienating half of the country isn't a smart business model for a company that needs national appeal in order to survive. Now, what about Jimmy Kimmel himself? Geez, dude, I think you're a funny guy, or that you can be. I know you have talent, but you need to deal with your Trump derangement syndrome. I know you have friends that don't agree with you. Go have a couple of drinks with your old pal Adam Carolla. I have never heard him say one bad word about you. There are also more middle-of-the-road, right-leaning political analysts who could give you insight into what half the country sees that you don't. Yeah, don't start with Benny Johnson. I would recommend someone like Mark Halperin. He is a very reasonable guy. I sound like I'm being facetious, but I'm not really. People whose blood pressure go up 50 points at the mere mention of Donald Trump need to look at what's going on in their lives. I'm not saying vote Republican, but you need to stick your head outside the West Coast bubble and see what's going on. If you need therapy, head a few states east to find someone. Jimmy, this is not all Donald Trump's fault, and his supporters are not all brown-shirted haters. Charlie Kirk most certainly was not a hater, and it should have been obvious that his fans were deeply traumatized by his murder. You should have taken a cue from Gilbert Gottfried when in the year 2001 he started to tell a 9/11 joke at the Friars Club roast of Hugh Hefner. Someone from the crowd yelled, "Too soon!" And then he gave a glorious rendition of the aristocrat joke. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to the Pablo El Molinero channel. Even if you didn't like it, feel free to leave a comment. I will respond. And if you are so inclined, hit the bell to be notified anytime we have new content. Thanks again for watching. This is Pablo El Molinero and the Aristocrats.